What happens when you take an icon of horror like Tobe Hooper and mix him with probably one of the greatest directors of any generation, Steven Spielberg? You get a damn good ghost story with Poltergeist. This is a great movie. I really, really enjoyed Poltergeist. I like this movie a lot. Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg come together to craft a very tightly written movie, a beautifully atmospheric movie that has some chills. It's got fright to it. It's not this movie is not overly scary, at least to me. It's not really, really all that scary. It's intense. It's got some scary movie moments in it, but it also has that Steven Spielberg whimsy to it, which makes it stand out from a lot of other ghost movies. Like in my opinion, this is not a overly dark movie per se. Like I said, it has a lot of those Steven Spielberg whimsy elements to it. It has a lot of that awe and wonder that you come to expect from a Steven Spielberg style of movie. And but you have these sensibilities of a Tobe Hooper that creates an atmosphere that does make this movie, you know, a chiller. And this is a damn good chiller movie. This is one of the better supernatural horror flicks. So, Poltergeist is very basic. This family called the Freelings, live in this average suburban house, and it just so happens that this suburban house was built on an ancient Indian burial ground, like you do, and their daughter Carol Ann gets sucked into the TV by paranormal means, and now they have to find a way to try and save her from the other side, from the spirit world, and bring her back into the real world. And that's pretty much the general gist of this movie. It's a very simple and basic plot line, but it's what happens inside this movie that makes it so memorable and makes it so good. You have a great cast of actors in this movie. You got Craig T. Nelson, you got Joe Beth Williams, you got Heather O'Rourke, you got the great Zelda Rubinstein, and you also have a good supporting cast with the daughter and these three paranormal psychologists and these three paranormal psychologists that work with Zelda Rubinstein near the end of the movie. And all these actors, they all give really good, grounded performances. And they take the material so seriously that you buy what's happening to these people, to this family. You want them to save Carol Ann before it's too late from these evil demonic spirits. And when Carol Ann does get saved, you have this sense of joy within you because they finally won. But of course, that's just a fake out ending because then we have another 20 minutes of just bonkers happening within the house, which is also extremely entertaining all onto itself. But yeah, you got a great cast of actors in this movie. They all do a great job. You have beautiful production design in this movie. This movie is shot beautifully. Tobe Hooper does an exquisite job behind the director's chair. The cinematography by John R. Laurenetti is, like I said, it's clean, it's crisp, it looks fabulous. The special effects by Industrial Light and Magic, by early 80s standards, great stuff. The use of you got a great use of practical effects. You got a great use of computer, very, very, very primitive computer generated imagery. Now, looking back on it, yeah, it looks really, really dated, and it does look kind of hokey and cheesy. But again, the actors take the material so seriously that you can get past all that crap, and you buy it. And and of course, I like the look of the other side too. It has a very surreal look to it, and it looks fantastic. Um, like I said, this movie's got a lot of creepy moments too. It's got a lot of moments that really stick out in your head, like when the kid Robbie gets attacked by the tree, and later on in the movie gets attacked by the clown. Then you got the great scene where the mom is trying to save her kids, and she slips and falls into a pool, and a bunch of skeletons come at her. So it's like I said, so you got some creep value moments in this movie, but you also got some of that classic Steven Spielberg whimsy. With the score by Jerry Goldsmith, you have some good character interactions that are quite humorous. So this movie has a lot. This movie has a little bit for everything. It's not overly scary, and it doesn't have a movie like this does not have to be overly scary. It's got to give you a couple of chills and thrills here and there, and it saves all the intense stuff more or less to the end of the movie. But up until that part, again, you get that whimsical wonder of the family discovering that the house they're living in is infested with a poltergeist, and You see how it affects them. You see how the struggle that it is to save Carol Ann, which they eventually do. So yeah, you're like Poltergeist. Great movie. I like it a lot. It's one of the better ghost story movies. I have zero complaints about this thing. I love it. I'm going to give it a solid 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it immensely. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Poltergeist. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I would like to know. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.